What is going on, guys? We are back playing some more Surviving with Thermal Expansion. Now, last episode we started working on a relatively large project. You can see it in front of me right now. If you didn't see the episode, we made an iron golem farm. Now, I know that doesn't sound like very much modded Minecraft going on, and honestly, there is zero modded Minecraft going on in the entire farm. It's a simple vanilla one that should net about 1 stack of iron every hour, give or take maybe like 15. So it's a pretty modest farm, nothing super crazy, but the main goal was to get iron so that I could use it for crafting, because we do frequently run low on iron, because that's probably one of the main resources you're going to use in any form of modded Minecraft when you're crafting, but also because I wanted to mess around with creating some currency and then turning that into power. Now, a lot of you guys mentioned early on when I started recording this series that you were interested in how the currency worked. I don't know if it's relatively new or just kind of some weird thing that you can mess around with. But as you can see here, there's a bunch of different coins. They correspond to pretty much every ingot you can have. Now, obviously, these coins, their value goes up based on the rarity of the ingot, so iron is nothing special. But if we click on the iron coin, you can see it's made using the compactor set into mint mode, and you can make 3 per iron ingot that you put in, and then of course it's 1 per iron nugget or 27 per block of iron, so you can put it in any form that you want. Essentially, you're going to get the same amount out. We're going to be putting it in an ingot form just because that's how we're going to get it from the farm. But then we can use these coins for one thing and one thing only, and that is the Numismatic Dynamo. I keep wanting to call it a generator, but it's the Numismatic Dynamo. I apologize if I'm butchering that name. I don't know how else you pronounce it, but whatever. It's the currency generator. Let's just call it that. You put currency in, you get power out. Now, this might not seem like the greatest generator ever, and honestly, I probably would not use this as a power generation source if it weren't for fun, which is what we're doing today, education and fun. But we're going to get 30,000 RF from each iron coin. We get 3 from every iron ingot, so essentially each iron ingot, if we want to round to make it nice, is roughly 100,000 RF. If you want to be exact, 90,000, obviously, that's still a pretty nice number to work with, but let's just say 100,000 per iron ingot, which to me does not seem that special. I am going to go sleep while I rant about this, but yeah, so that's the main reason that I wouldn't really go out of my way to use this if it weren't something that I thought were kind of interesting and we had never touched on it before. But we're still going to mess around with it and see how good we can get it to be. So, this does in fact function. If we look down here, you can see that I have 6 iron ingots. I pretty much just got this working, so have not been sitting AFK for more than like 10 minutes, but it's still definitely not super efficient. I might expand upon it, but the goal for today is to set up the generator and just kind of see how it functions. So definitely not an in-depth episode. Last episode was pretty long, setting up the whole farm. But over here, I've got all the stuff that we're going to need today to actually get this running. And there's only 2 main machines that we're going to need, one of which being the Dynamo, and the other one is the compactor. So what we're going to do is grab out all this stuff over here and get ready to start setting this up. Surprisingly, not much iron being used today, which goes, contradictory to what I said before. But first thing we're going to do is make the compactor. Got to make the copper gears. I do already have a compactor. You need one to actually set this up. But we are going to need to use another one because I want to put it right next to the farm. We already have a piston, so we need the coil, and that should be the last thing. We didn't make the actual machine frame. Okay, there we go. So we've got the compactor, and unfortunately the compactor only has, I believe it has 2 modes, storage and something else for making plates. But we do need to use the mint mode, and the way to get that is using an augment, the augment for the numismatic press. So this is a specialization. Obviously you can only have one on there. It makes big changes to the machine, and it allows for the creation of currency. Currency can be exchanged for goods and services, and then it allows it to toggle into mint mode. So because of this, that is why we've got the hardened upgrade kit. We do need to have space for an augment to go in there. Obviously if you wanted to upgrade it further, you could add a couple other augments in to kind of speed it up. But I don't think you're really going to be running through that much iron trying to get it turned into currency. It's pretty fast as it is, so I think we should be fine just having the 1 upgrade on it for the augment, but we do need to make that. And this is where you actually need to have the compactor already run. I guess technically you could make the compactor, then make the plates, and then come back, but you do need electrum plates to actually make this upgrade. So it's going to be an Invar gear, the electrum plates, an emerald, and then a redstone servo. So not super expensive, honestly, for a specialization augment. And there we go. Got the recipe unlocked because we've never made it before. So these two are good to go. Now the last thing we need to make is the actual dynamo itself, which is right up here. Numismatic Dynamo. It takes a redstone transmission coil and a Constantin gear. And then we should be good to go off that then, I think. Yep, there we go. So again, not very expensive. Then I've got one energy cell just for us to put some of the power in. And then I've got the leadstone flux duct. Now eventually I would probably like to wire this underground over the base if I ended up using it as a full power source, but I highly doubt that. I still need to move this whole setup, which is probably the best power generation setup I will have. As you can see, it's still burning through stuff, but it's pretty stacked over here, and I don't have the power going anywhere. It's just burning off in the steam dynamo. But yeah, I need to hook that up to the base. I've been super lazy with doing that. I really need to, and I keep saying that every episode, but we will get around to it eventually. Also, just a side note, before we go on from here, even if I don't respond to comments in older videos, I always try and respond to comments on new videos within a couple days of the video coming out. But if someone comments on a much older video, a lot of the time I won't respond unless it's like a really like a question that I can help them with. And one of them was, I don't remember if it was recent or old, but it was, why do I always say we? Who is this we? They asked, I believe they asked, are you bipolar? And I just want to say that, I've heard other people say this before, but I say we because it's me and you, the people listening. If that ever weirded you guys out as to why I say we, what we are going to do today, it's because I guess I always treated it like we're playing this together, You're watching the playthrough together, we're doing stuff together, we're working through it, we're learning what we're doing all together. So I know that's some probably sappy little, oh god, that scared me, but a sappy little thing, but yeah, that's just something that I wanted to put out there because I saw the comment, and I don't want to say it tilted me, but it was one of those things that's like, they seemed really hostile about it, like I was being weird, and I never saw it that way. But wow, we got 5 iron from him, okay. So as you can see, yeah, this does function, but just something I wanted to point out. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to break this chest. I don't really think we need the storage there. It was nice to have initially, but we're going to replace it with some of this stuff. So we need to see which one of these pops out. All of them are funneling into this one, and we're going to put the compactor down. We want the back to be set to blue, and then we want, for now, every other side to be shut off, because it's probably going to go to this side, actually. We should just set that to orange. But we need the output to just be to whichever side it's, got a free space on. And then we are going to right-click the hardened upgrade kit onto it. And there we go. A little bit of lag there. But now we've got an augment slot. It's a little annoying that you don't get an augment slot to start with the basic machine. You do have to upgrade it, but unfortunately we don't really have another option. So we've got press and storage. Those are the 2 regular modes. And then we've got mint mode, which is just for making coins. There is another mode that you can put in the compactor. If you see right here, I believe it's, yeah, so the compactor specialization gear working die. It allows for efficient creation of gears, which I assume it probably just uses, like, you know what, let's look. I just want to know right now, I'm going to take a guess. I've never looked at this before, but I'm going to assume it allows you to create gears without putting the iron in the center. I'm going to guess that that's what it is. Where are gears? Okay, so right here. So let's look at the recipe for an aluminum gear. Let's see recipe. So if it's there, yeah, so it removes the iron cost. Okay, I always thought it was interesting that it needed iron in the center, and I don't know what else it would have gotten rid of. So just a guess, but I was in fact right, of course. So what we're going to do then is take the, where is it? The Numismatic Dynamo, and I want to put it facing out like this. Oh, that's the wrong way. Rotate it like that. I think that should allow it to output in here. It might need to be faced the other way, or just come out the front here. I don't remember if it can input from the side there, but hypothetically I'd like it to kind of go like this, like that, and then this outputs back in there because this does need power. And so to get around this, what we're going to do is break this. We're going to put it over here in our actual power generation setup. Gonna let it charge up very little bit, nothing too crazy. It can't even input that fast, but we're gonna let it charge up a little bit, and then we're gonna put it back over there, throw the iron in, and watch it function. I always forget if you can actually put I know you can use an augment, and I believe it's, where is it? It's one of these. Is it this one? Allows insertion and extraction through the coil. So I don't know if that means the end of it or the sides. I'm not sure, but we're about to find out. So let me grab this. Also, I apologize if I sound a little hoarse, kind of weird. I am a little bit sick right now. So, okay, yeah. So as I said that, I needed to take a little bit of a break. I was getting, a little bit of a sore throat, had to take a drink. But we are back now, and we are good to place down the cube. And we need to change the sides so that it can get input over here. And then we will need to change this one to blue. And then we'll just put that one to orange. So it can get input, and it should be able to circle all the way around. So we'll throw the iron in there and let it function. It should not use much power to actually do the entire recipe. But then, yep, it pops out over here. And it has 3 coins that should pop in here immediately. And those will produce the RF for us. Now, it's not very fast. We could put augments in there if we wanted to. But it'll just get a backup then in here, as you can see. They get produced pretty fast, so we'll be, lacking in iron, actually. It'll probably be a backup over here. Burns through them pretty slow, but if we look at what these give, let's just see what we could hypothetically get. It looks like emeralds actually give you, that's, in my opinion, a fair bit of power. If you could get a way to farm emeralds, that would be a lot of power. Enderium, how do you even make this? Yeah, that's a lot. For that amount of power, that seems like a very large amount of investment. Nothing really seems that crazy good compared to iron. Just looking at these, I mean, it's pretty underwhelming, honestly, which is a little disappointing because I think it's a cool concept. But yeah, these look pretty underwhelming for the amount you're going to get for it. So, I mean, iron seems like the best one. Obviously, this is the least you're going to get. But for the most part, all the other ones, there aren't really any great ways to get them. I mean, you could probably get gold by setting up a farm in the nether with, pigmen. That would actually probably be pretty efficient. Probably more efficient than this if you actually put in the effort. But other than that, I can't think of any other good way to farm everything else. Obviously, it might be completely different if you're in a different mod pack and you have different things available to you. But for us just playing with thermal expansion, if we're pretty limited, this seems like the only good way to go about doing this. So I'll just see how far I can take it, in my off time, off camera, when I'm stalling and really trying not to move this. I'll probably go and add another layer or 2 in. It's a little bit of a pain in the butt because as far as I know, I need to build up like 70 blocks and then put it down. It's nothing super simple, like just adding 1 more layer on top and putting some more villagers. So it's a little bit weird, a little bit annoying, but I may add it, see how far we can take this. I don't really know. But it is fun to mess around with. If you guys have any cool ideas for setting this up with other mods that, work well with it, feel free to post those in the comments because I do find it interesting to see what you guys come up with. I do have a couple other big builds in mind, but obviously this was, a slightly bigger one. Not really a big one, but it was a little bit of a project. So if you guys have any other suggestions on projects to do, also feel free to let me know. I apologize for not having a video out on Thursday, but I actually got, I spent 7 hours getting my leg tattooed on Wednesday, came back, was completely dead, and when I woke up in the morning, I was sick. So, yeah, slightly annoying because when you're sick and you have a sore throat and stuff, there's not a ton you can do because you just sound awful recording, as you probably noticed partway through the video. But yeah, that's enough of me rambling. There was one last thing I wanted to talk about before I sign off for the day, and that was that the last video, you might have seen my comment if you watched it, but it was not looking that great. It was only 30 FPS, but the problem was I record in 60 FPS, and for some reason, when Sony Vegas rendered it out, it did not render it out at 60 FPS. So going down from 60 FPS video to 30 FPS actually looks really bad. It doesn't just make it 30 FPS, it makes it really choppy and look really bad, and I did not get the chance to check over the video before I uploaded it because I went home for the weekend, and I just left it uploading on my computer at school. So when it went up, I noticed it when someone commented on it, and there was not a ton I could do. So I apologize for that. It should be fixed in this video. But yeah, if you were curious why the last one was kind of lower quality, possibly hard to watch, that is why. I apologize for that. It was an oversight on my part, but it should be fixed now. And thank you for bearing with me last episode on that front. But that's going to be it for today, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, please feel free to give it a like, as it does help me out a lot. And I will talk to you guys later.
Upside down, faces swirling past me, all my memories rolling vastly.